mean, you look at all the list of companies you mentioned earlier that
And those
just
are
left
just
that
few.
place.
Those are the few that you can count with your fingers and your toes, right? The number of companies
Yes.
that have left Nigeria, they are like in quantum, man. You know, millions of
Yeah.
jobs have been lost, direct and indirect. But these guys they are doctoring the data, telling another
Yeah.
story that no, things are actually getting better. That's what propaganda does.
Yeah. But the thing is, the propaganda can only go as far.
That's right.
But after a while, the narrative starts falling apart, and we're getting closer and closer. I mean, DeVito speaks the truth, and they all attack him. Was he lying?
No.
Is anything that the guy said was a lie? None of them was a lie. This is like straight reality of what's happening on ground. If you paid attention, do not even risk your investment in Nigeria. I can tell you, I'm a prime example of that.
Mhm.
I try to get into the oil business.
Hmm.
I sent some trucks in. Till today, I don't know what happened to my trucks.
Oh dear.
So so this is like one of the things that helped push me towards like, no, we got to break this place up because there's so much you can't do anything. There's nothing you can do in order to make things better. Either rather than being a criminal, stealing, robbing, doing, like being a crook. That's the only thing that you could be successful there. But anything else, forget about it.
They will
But thank you
sacrifice
so much.
you.
I don't want to hold.
You'll be used as a sacrificial lamb when you try to be so
Ye-
legit. Ask those who have become their victims. They will tell you.
Yes, Maigu. We used to ship cars, and we shipped so many cars. We think looking at business about to thrive. The people that we were dealing with, this is also employment for them.
Mhm.
Little did we know that these people were actually conspiring. Certain cars got there. Oh, custom seized it.
Hmm.
Custom never seized it. These people took this money, the car, sold it on their own, split the money. Now they no longer have a job.
Yep.
You see, like shorts, everyone has become a criminal there. It's like, where do you start? The only solution is break it up. Free Mazin
Nice, man.
Namdekano, Ohel Biafra, Ohel Odurua.
Thank you so much,
Peace.
man. That's it. Hmm? There's no other way around it. For those who cares to listen, right? It is not coming from the place of animosity. For a lot of us who have seen it all, to some extent, we believe that you can give it a try if you think there is still a remedy for this contraption, but it won't take long before you will tell yourself the truth. There is no way out for this place. The damages is so deep, and the state capture that you are currently experiencing, oh man, except these guys are stopped, they will never stop. Chike, my brother.
Michael Dari Political.
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm very well, sir. How are you, sir?
I am very well too. Thanks so much for asking. Here we are.
Nice.
Hmm?
Yes, so it's I've meant to call all this while to be honest. It's been a very busy year for me.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah, frankly speaking, I just got back from Madrid last night, and I'm still jet lagged. But
that's like how many hours flight to Canada? How many hours, that?
So from Edmonton to Amsterdam is about 9 hours, and then from Amsterdam to Spain is another 2 hours. So let's say 11 hours in
11
total.
hours combined. Oh, bless you.
That's just being in the aircraft, But I got back and I started hearing about this Dele Farotimi issue,
I know.
and it really touched me because I had to call in. That man is, there are some people you don't touch in Nigeria, and I believe he's one of those kind of people. Because he's been by himself. He has his own show, just like you, talking his mind. He has his fans.
That's right.
Telling the truth. He's been telling the truth for so many years.
That's right.
He has a book, regardless of which party you lean in. He has a book called "Do Not Die in Their War."
That's right.
I've never read that book, but the title says it all. you know,
Do not die
um,
in their war. You're right.
in their war. Right. You know, in Igbo culture, there's a place for people like him. They call them Ndi na-ekwu eziokwu. So
Meaning,
people who tell the truth, right?
right.
So when you're classified as such a person, Igbos don't care how wealthy you are, how poor you are, how educated you are. If you're deemed as someone who tells the truth in society, you will always be held in the highest esteem.
That's right.
And Dele Farotimi is one of those kind of people.
He's one of the
Um,
detribalized Nigerians I have seen, and he doesn't
absolutely,
hold back in his beliefs.
he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't. He doesn't care who you are. Honestly, I was even surprised he supported P2B. I was surprised because I already saw him prior to P2B running. I already saw him as someone who had no political leaning, and he'll tell you he was not even a member of the Labour Party.
Yep.
But he just believed in the idea of P2B and decided to throw his hat in. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I feel like they've tried to shut him up. They've tried to shut him up,
For a long
or
time,
maybe
if you listen to Dele Farotimi, right? Sometimes I
mm,
actually feel worried for him, even though he will tell you not to. He will tell you that we are
right,
all victims waiting to happen. We are not citizens. We
right,
are not treated as one. But let's pretend that we are citizens. Let's pretend that we have a country. Let's pretend that you have a democracy. So that
yeah,
you can actually kind of
right,
argue in that terrain and be like, why is it like this or why is it not like that? So, I mean, I fear for his life many times, but he's not really
yeah,
afraid of it. So
yeah.
to say, he's not.
He's
It's
not.
obvious.
He's not. He's not. In fact, I think the other day, I don't know, I was watching one of his shows, and he was talking about how he collapsed and died, or no, not that, sorry, how he collapsed and fainted.
Hmm.
I think on his 50th birthday, and that's the only thing that really worries me about him. Like, okay, I hope he's in great health, But if it's roaring back at those people, if it's fighting back, he's going to do it, and that is why they have gone and brought in a legal luminary in quotation,
Very old man.
Afeba Babalola, to try and get him. And my God, it is a big mistake.
Hmm.
And I believe it's a stain on Babalola's legacy or lack thereof.
Hmm.
Right?
Hmm.
It's going to go down as one of the biggest mistakes he has ever made.
I mean,
Again, Michael,
Dele Farotimi said
yeah,
he's been doing it behind the scene. This is the first time he's actually going to do it in
right.
public. And look at the reaction. A lot of people are now going
Look
to.
at the reaction.
A lot of people are going to unravel him, and a lot of things that has been
Oh,
assigned or whatever to his name. A lot of people are going to
right.
demystify all of that. People like myself are demystifying some of those now.
Right.
I'm considering that we have
and
been lied to a lot about these guys. That if we begin to
yeah,
look into them, we will realize how much they contributed to the destruction of that place. And somebody like me, I'm not alone. There are many like me now discovering this and
you know
what the heck?
You know what, Michael, you actually opened my eyes today, because I remember a few months ago, or was it last year, they said he donated about 15 million pounds or so
10
to
million
Oxford
pounds
or
to King's
something like
College
that.
in London. I was like,
Right.
how could somebody
And I
from
was like,
Ekiti will
yeah,
use that money a lot? Why gave it here?
right.
Because they always love to buy the validation from this part of the world.
Right. That's what it is. Buy legacies for their grandchildren, so that those if their grandchildren, I can bet you his grandchildren will never go to his university. They'll go to Oxford
King's
or wherever he
College,
donated that money.
Oxford, Harvard, all those
Right.
places.
Yeah, but let's see. Things are unfolding. This Dele Farotimi is a different kind of person. I believe Nigerians are going to rally behind him. But let me say, Michael, I tried watching you from Spain briefly,
Right.
and I had a very different appreciation of the work you do with the time zone. Many of us here in North America actually take you for granted, right? I don't say it flippantly. I mean, it's what time? It's about 3:22, and I'm watching. But when I was watching from there, I was like, wow, it's really late at night for you. So thank you for the work you do. Like that day when I tried, I think you said you're not going to take calls. I was like, yeah, don't take no calls. Go rest.
Yes, I
You
understand.
really you really do a great job, and
Thank you.
continue to tell us the truth. We really appreciate you, bro.
Thank you so much,
Really,
Chike. Thank you so much for all the
thank
support
you.
as well. I am not taking that lightly too, not for granted, okay? And you get some
Not
rest
a problem,
yourself,
bro.
okay? Stretch the
Thank
legs,
you.
you know.
Yes, yes, yes.
Enjoy the return, all right, Baba? And see you later,
Thank you,
okay?
sir. Much.
Thank you very much.
All right. Take care, bro.
Yes,
All right. Bye
sir.
bye.
That's Chike, my brother from Canada. And I do have Hamid on the line tonight as well. Inaoni,
Ina wani ina gajiya maikun
lafiya kalau, alhamdulillah. Yaya mata, yaya gida, yaya
lafiya
aiki,
kalau ya
lafiya
gida ya
kalau,
jin daɗi.
lafiya kalau. Good.
Yawa
Ahmed,
sannu
it's
sannu sannu
been
sannu
a very
maikun.
much like a heated last 2 days when Dele
Yeah,
Farotimi got
maikun.
kidnapped. But there's been so much shared. And here you are,
I
Baba.
mean, I've listened a lot about what he talks about, and I mean, he's a great man, and hopefully, the people will rally around him, and they will do what they are supposed to do, because there is one thing about these criminals in Nigeria. Once they see that everybody is standing up, they see the pressure, they'll just lay look, this one no be person with feet touch you. You
Get.
understand? I don't really have much, but I think I tried to coin out a name for that. Afe Babanla Oli. You know, go call him Babalola.
It should
Afe
be Baba
Babanla Oli.
loudly. Hmm.
Babanla Oli. I say make I
I mean,
contribute
if
that one.
relative now, if all of us really
uh,
want to be honest with his role, of his role in how Nigeria got to where Nigeria is today, is pretty much like a Banlaole for real.
Papanla Oleni. You know these things, like you have tried to always try to give these criminals names.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've learned one thing from that. Each time you call these criminals, I just find a name that goes straight with them. And I'll try coin
And
out a
that is
name
how
for
it
them too.
works. Yes. And you will never let
Exactly,
anybody
exactly. So,
gaslight you to respect
like,
criminals,
like,
no matter how woke
like,
they are. Mm-hmm.
will never respect them.
No.
So anyone we won't die now, I think this is the time for you to go and die, because we'll call them out. We give them names. If you are not comfortable with that names, then go and die. We'll not even tell you to just go and die.
Simple and short.
All these people that support that's just what I have to say. I don't have much, my I don't have much to
Ahmed,
contribute. All right, man.
it's really
All right,
good to
Baba.
hear from you too, okay? You have a good
All
day,
right,
Baba.
Baba.
All right?
All
Thank you
right,
so
Baba.
much. But here is another caller, and this is my own one name.
One name,
Osita.
one name, the number, one name, the author.
One name. How are you, Baba?
We got digide. You will always live for us. That is the meaning. We got digide.
He say, I thank you so
That's my
much for all the support as well. Osita.
yeah. So, this afternoon I wondered, is it this morning rather in American
the
time?
brunch time, right?
The brunch time. So I wanted to call, but I joined the party solo.
I know.
Even right now, I joined the party solo, but I wanted to say something about.
It's never too late for you to actually have your voice.
Our dear brother, Dele Farotimi. Anyway, there's a trend that is going on right there, that contraption right now. If you're against them, they try to arrest you,
yes,
bring you into their corridor and start negotiating with you. Start negotiating with you so that maybe you could be on their own side, because it is better for the criminal minds. It's better that you bring your enemy close to you, keep him in your own camp, than letting him sit down outside there. So all these things that they did to this man, because they themselves, they know they don't have a case against him. So what would they do? They have to bring him in, threatening him, then start negotiating with him. If he falls, he becomes one of them. So that is the trend that you will see that will start going on in Nigeria soon. Everybody they know that is an activist will be arrested.
The new word is
Intimidated.
defaming.
Intimidated, threatened,
Yeah,
and then given an offer.
Given an offer. That is what you are going to see that is going to play out. And secondly, you know that Dele Farotimi is somebody who talks more about the ongoings in Lagos State. This thing that you're saying is connected to his son, Sheyi, trying to be the governor of Lagos State. This particular thing you're looking at. So that is where we are. We will see intimidation, but it is only when we resist that intimidation. Even some of us abroad, they watch your program.
I know.
They are trying to know who is commenting, who is
are the people
contributing,
here? Who are the regular callers?
They are trying to find out. The reason I'm saying it is because of they are there. They are there. They are watching your program right now. All of them, they are there. So you will see a lot of people will come back from Christmas this year. They will tell you they were being stopped at the airport. They were being questioned about one thing or the other. But we are ready for them. There's no problem. I tell people. So I tell people that is the reason.
As we speak.
Yeah. So that is exactly. That is exactly what is going on. There's nothing big than what is going on right now, because all this case, it is something they tested with Burna Boy and the other guy with Akpi.
Yeah.
Whereby, even if somebody defame you, all you need to do is to go to court, serve him a court warrant so that he can appear to court, so that he appear in court, so that he can defend himself. So that is, yes, that is one part.
You can't
the other part I wanted to talk
somebody says something you probably feels like is defamation. It doesn't mean that you are right.
It doesn't mean you are right.
Just go to court and let the court prove it. That, you know, but they won't. That's why they will use the police first, and then the corrupt judiciary will help them. So they work hand in hand, and they will lock you up for days. Do you know Akpi is still in detention right now? Police detention.
Yeah.
They didn't even take him to court.
They didn't even take him to court.
For the second time, by the same Burna Boy.
For the second time. Yeah, by the same Burna Boy. So it's crazy. That is the same thing. When look, when your judiciary is broken, that means the country is broken.
It's gone.
It's gone. Just the same thing. I'm not a fan of Emefiele. You know the way I attack him especially when he said, "Oh, you wanted to become president." I said, "So what? What?" But the truth is that buildings are coming out now, estates are coming out, and they are saying he's Emefiele.
Like
why didn't you allow him? Why didn't you allow him come to court? Then let him defend himself. We will know the ones that he owns, and he will tell us other people who were with him doing all this evil.
But they won't let him
bring him to court.
No.
They won't let him do that. Then the next thing you see,
media trial, like we are witnessing.
Yes, the media trial. That was the same thing they did with Desiani. They said he bought $1.5 million bra.
Remember, golden bra.
Bra. It was still their EFCC chairman that came out and told the whole world, no, that there was not such a thing. Bauer said it, that there was no such a thing. So this is my own take here, is that the country is gone. Why don't we just do this thing without shedding any blood? Let everybody go their own separate ways. All these things that they were talking about, the tax bill. This tax bill, you will find a lot of frustrations that will come into it. Because of the people of Niger Delta, for example, they are supporting the bill, but they are telling you that this is the way it ought to be done. Because you cannot do that thing partially. If you want to do it, you have to do it wholesomely, whereby those things will work. They are now telling you, you cannot take oil from Niger Delta because of the company. Shell has their corporate headquarters in Lagos. Then they will have to go and pay their taxes in Lagos. This is corporate tax. So you have to pay that tax in Bayelsa, for example.
Yes.
So if you want to do it rightly, without any shady
the first thing first is that Dangote, for example, should relocate some of his companies to Edo State, where he's getting limestone, to Ogun State, to Kogi State, and pay the taxes based on the amount of limestone is taken from those places, right? Then he should, the oil companies, all of them should relocate back to Port Harcourt, relocate back to Bayelsa, all these places where they are taking crude oil and gas. so that they can stay there. But no, they won't do that. They said they will collect it and share the money back to them.
So this is the problem that we are facing in that contract. It's not working. Either we like it or not, and it will never work. No matter how you try to adjust it, it will never work.
No.
Break it. That is the only time it will work. Thank you very much, my brother.
God bless you. Osita, good to hear from you, Baba. Listen, if you are still here, remember, okay, we only have just about 25 minutes to go. It's a reminder. Do me that big, massive favor. Like the broadcast, okay, and share it, and possibly maybe subscribe to my channel if you haven't. But if you have actually liked the broadcast already, you don't have to do it again. One or once is enough. Just once, and that's you. And most of the time that a lot of you actually like the broadcast, because I have actually realized something. Majority of my viewers now watches Mayegun's Diary Politico on their screen, on their TV. And then it seems as if to say it's impossible to like Mayegun's Diary Politico on TV, but that's not true. I wish I can show you this, right? This is my own screen. If you look at, okay, hang on. Let me see if I can hide here. You see, that's my screen. And if you press the remote control, your remote, the upper button, like that, you can move the, what do you call the cursor to like. See that? Can you see that? And then like. See? You don't really have, it doesn't really have to be on your phones only, okay? Thank you so much. I have another caller, and I bet this is Adeola. Thank you.
About Samuel.
Adeola. How are you today?
Chairman, I'm fine. I'm very all right. I thank God. You know, I think I don't even know where to start today, but I'll do it. I'll try and do a very quick one.
Wherever you start is okay by me, please.
I would try and do a quick one. You know, I will start with France very quickly. France is like I'll quote a scripture which says, confidence in an unstable person in time of trouble, or confidence in someone that is unfaithful in time of trouble, is like a bad tooth or a foot out of joint. So, you know, so who's that person that you're having confidence in? Kolu, you know, at this point in time. France is in deep waters. There was an article that I read 4 weeks ago about, you know, about the Sahel states, you know,
Yes.
Burkina Faso, Niger, and the other one. So in that article, they coined them as the coup belts. They referred them as coup belts, derogatory terms, you know. And in that
by a Westerner, possibly.
Yes, you know, the Financial Times, I subscribe to it and I read it on a regular. But at that point in time, I was slightly incensed by the way they reported the news. But the real value of that particular article was that those Sahel states have asked for renegotiation of contracts of all those mine licenses they were given before. So a lot of companies that could not renegotiate on the terms of this new government, if you check their trading status on London Stock Exchange, they have been suspended because trading on those companies has been suspended. Those companies are in deep waters, Baba. So it now takes us back to the agreement, the MOU that Kolu has signed with these guys. Are we going to see a revitalization of those companies that have gone under? Now sinking their claws into the Nigerian mining system? Is this what we're going to see? Is that the lifeline for all those companies? Those companies, I know the companies. So obviously we are watching clearly what will happen if those companies would have some form of breath of life afterwards. Because we have to be very clear that this, you know, and that takes us to my second conversation today regarding all these, I'll call them soldiers of Pharaoh's army. You might call them Afe Babalala, you might call them Tolu Melumi. Those people, for me, I see them as soldiers in Pharaoh's army. It's a country whereby you have weapons. See, let us be clear. Let us be very clear that, there's some things, there are some base assumptions in every argument that it is a system whereby you can weaponize the police if you have the highest dollar in your pockets. So let us be very clear that justice is immaterial, Baba. So if you have the money, if you think you have the money, you can weaponize the police.
Which is what we're witnessing right now.
That's what we're witnessing right now. Whereby you weaponize the police, and who are the police? They are soldiers in Pharaoh's army. And you know how this will end, my ego. See, when you start seeing things like